Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. I've got the Henry US Survival Rifle out, as you can see, and I'm going to do a man's got to know his limitations with this little rifle. Been requested by several different viewers over time, and it makes a lot of sense. It's billed as a survival rifle, so I would like to know my practical range with the little rifle, that may come in handy sometime. So I'm going to start like I always do, and start up close and work my way back. Today we'll start at 10 yards on a target, and I'll shoot it, and I'll keep working my way back 10 yards at a time until I can no longer make at least 3 out of 4 hits on the target. And the reason I do 3 out of 4 is that does show some consistency. I could set the camera up at 200 yards and shoot and shoot and shoot until I hit it, and then say, hey, I made a hit, and only show you guys the hit. I do the 3 out of 4 to show some consistency. For you guys that don't know what the little Henry survival rifle is, and you should, this thing has gotten a lot of views just on my channel alone. It's just a little 22 long rifle, chambered rifle that takes down and fits into the buttstock. So it's kind of its own little carrying case here. It will float for a little while. I've done a couple of different float tests, one with it tucked down into the buttstock like it is right now, and one with it complete as a rifle, completed rifle. So you can watch those here on YouTube if you want. Biggest downfall, it's a great little rifle, and I love Henry. You guys know I'm a Henry fan. But the biggest problem I've had with this little rifle is this butt plate or cover for the containment of the stock here. It is so loose now. After taking it on and off a few times, it just falls off. In fact, if you were to reach and pick your gun up, I mean, it's just going to dump everything. So that will not stay on the stock. But here's our receiver, your barrel. I've got a couple of magazines stowed away in there as well. This thing goes together really easy. Just slide the receiver into the stock. You've got a thumb screw here on the bottom. I do have a magazine in it, but I checked it before the video. This thing is clear. Little bolt handle pulls out. There's a notch in the top of the receiver and a little peg on the top of the barrel. Line those up. I use my thumb to pull back on the bolt handle. Line those up. Drop the barrel in. Tighten the barrel nut. And we've got ourselves a little rifle. So let's get started with the video. Since we are using a rifle, albeit a small takedown rifle, instead of a handgun today, I'm going to drop the 10-inch plate down to an 8-inch. That should be a little more challenging. Here we go. Okay, so here we are at 10 yards. I've got 4 rounds loaded into the 10-shot magazine. I'll only be loading 4 rounds at a time, since I'll only be taking 4 shots at each yardage. That butt plate will not stay on, so I'm just going to leave it off. "20 yards. You'll notice this little rifle does not have last shot hold open. "30 yards. "40 yards. We're at 50 yards, and just a reminder, I'm checking these yardages with the little laser rangefinder to get as close as I possibly can to the actual yardage. These aren't just numbers that I'm throwing out at you guys. I'm at 60 yards. Now, I realize that target, if you're watching on a small device like a phone or something, that target gets really hard to see, and that's due to this wide angle lens of the GoPro. Not really a whole lot I can do about it. It is what it is. Okay, I'm at 70 yards now. I noticed at 60 yards I was hitting very low on that target, so I'm going to start using a little holdover at this point. I did drop one that time. I missed that third shot. Still 3 out of 4 though, so let's back on up to 80. $80 yards. Four out of 4. Let's back up to 90. I am using, that time I was holding over the target. I missed that first one, raised a little more elevation on it, and hit the next 3. So 3 out of 4 at 90. I must have this set really low, because that's a lot of drop for this short of a range. Must have the sights set really low on it, but that's okay. Let's keep moving back. We'll go back to 100. All right, so here we are at 100. Four for 4 at 100 yards. I'm having to use an awfully lot of holdover though, so that can't go on much longer. Let's move back to 110. 110 yards. Three out of 4 at 110 yards. 120 yards. Hit. Hit. Oh, and a miss. 2 out of 4 at 120 yards. Okay, so it looks like 120 yards or so is going to be about my maximum practical range with the little Henry AR7 variant. Now, that was shooting Remington Thunderbolts. I know that's probably not the best choice for ammo, not the most accurate ammunition, but little AR7 does like it and runs well with it. That's why I chose to shoot some of it today. Not going to use the ammunition for an excuse for my shooting. If I were going to make an excuse today, I wish I had set these sights better. I noticed even at 20 and 30 yards I was hitting really low on the plate and having to adjust for that. So I wish I'd have set my sights for more like 100 yards. Then I wouldn't have had to use as much holdover. I was using a lot of holdover at 100, 110, 120 yards. I think I could have increased my range if I had zeroed it better for a farther distance than what I had it zeroed for. I remember zeroing this gun. I must have been using a different ammunition when I zeroed it, but definitely hitting low with those Thunderbolts. But that's all I got for today's video. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I know the world is crazy right now. Hopefully we can get things back to normal, or at least semi-normal here soon. Don't know for sure about that, if that's going to happen or not, but I want to thank my Patreon members. You know, some of you guys have had to pull your support for various reasons, and you've sent me messages. You don't owe me a reason. If you have to pull your support, it's none of my business what that's for. Take it. That's your money. I appreciate the support of the channel, but I understand priorities. I'm a family man myself. You know, my family comes first. I completely understand. Don't worry about it. This is Buffalo, and I'll talk with y'all again soon.